All right, everybody, welcome to Stan Dan's Pro Marketing Strategies, Go2Gurus, and other adjectives that describe who we are's first ever webinar. I'm Stanley,
And I'm Daniel.
and let's talk about marketing and businesses.
Yeah,
So, Daniel, how did you get started with marketing really quick?
I actually got started. It was Jim Cockrum. I went to a Jim Cockrum event back in last year.
October, I
Yeah,
think.
November.
November.
And from there, I really learned a lot. Amazing guys. And I met a number of people, Mike Lemoyne, and also was following at the time Ray Perry, who was instrumental actually in bringing me to the event. And from there, I feel like it kind of began my process of learning marketing and understanding that, applying it to my father's business and seeing a lot of great growth there. And so from that, I thought, man, I need to be doing more of this with other companies too.
Very cool. I have done marketing for a few years now. I did commercials for an in-house TV at Florida Hospital, a hospital in Florida, and had a good time doing marketing for them, and recently trying to do more marketing for others outside of Florida Hospital. So, Daniel, tell us what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about finding your unique selling proposition, your USP, and it has other names: elevator, speech, your value proposition. And that's what we're going to be talking about today because it is really paramount to being able to market, to being able to sell anything, is you need to know who you are and what you do. And so a lot of businesses we find actually don't have a concise understanding of what their USP is.
Okay, so yeah, I would say the USP is the foundation upon which all marketing should be built. What makes you unique is what.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
next
no,
slide.
that's all right. Again, this is important, I think, to you because number one, it is the ability to control your market. And so, as everyone knows, you want to be able to be the one that's in control of your market, whether it's the expectations of your customer, it's the type of services you're presenting, also the ability to then be on the cutting edge of discovery, and then of course money. And to have a solid USP allows you to have that edge that you can command more money, be able to tell them, hey, this is what I do, and this is what you're going to get. You set the expectations, and you can be able to command more money that way. And then the second one, of course, is when you know your USP, you're going to enjoy your work a whole lot more because you're not going to be necessarily. I mean, it's good to learn from other people, but you don't want to be copying what they're doing. You want to be unique and say, hey, this is my voice. This is what I'm doing. And in so doing, you can be more innovative as well.
Well, and to put it into practical sense, if you had, say, a video production company, and which may be our only viewer today, but anyway, but if you had a video production company and you wanted to, say, stand out in your industry, you could do something like, let's say, wedding video company. You could do something like, our unique standing is that we have cinematic weddings. We are people. We are trained as filmmakers. We will film it in a non-journalistic but a very film-like way, or maybe you could say we're unique in that we're super fast. Like we will get you a demo video, a highlight video in 1 week, and so you kind of set up expectations for your clients of, okay, these guys are different. Then you can also list your types of services, and that's also more of like, okay, almost like products, and it's and at that point you can control the money because you are setting yourself up almost as a monopoly or the only person that can provide that service, because it's like, okay, other people might be cheaper, but do they have what we have, which is a cinematic feel and a next day edit, or even a same day edit if you want to get crazy?
And I want to add to that because what Stanley just gave was kind of a general, and we're actually going to go through a couple of templates to really nail it, to really go down. We've got about 7 templates that we're going to go through here in just a bit. But before we do that, you know, we also have to sometimes, as a doctor, in order to really convince the patient that they should be taking this prescription, they need to convince them first and give a proper diagnosis of saying, hey, there's some problems here, there's some issues here. And one thing that we find is that a lot of companies are using what we would call cliches. And when you use cliches, you just destroy your opportunity to really stand out and monopolize your marketplace. What is a cliche? Well, a cliche is a phrase or an expression that has been so used, so often, that it is no longer original, interesting, or effective. And you know, these are phrases like, highest quality, the largest selection, the number one in whatever field you're doing, licensed, bonded, and insured, most dependable, been in business since 1601 BC, blah, 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 blah. And you've heard it. I mean, you just open up your phone book, take a look at a work van that's driving by, and I guarantee you, it will have a cliche on it. And most likely, your business is just cluttered with cliches. And therefore, we want to go through an evaluation. Maybe you're not convinced yet, but let's go through an evaluation. We have 3 tests that we want to give you to see if indeed you have got cliches. What's test number 1, Sam?
Test number 1 is the "well, I would hope so" test. Let's take, for example, a plumber who says, "We will fix all of your leaks the first time." Now, you would see that, and hopefully you would say to yourself, "Well, I would hope so." Like, you don't want a plumber that says, "Oh, I'm going to fix that the 10th time," or a mechanic, for example, is another thing where it's like, "Oh, we only fix your one problem."
Yeah.
Would probably be a pretty good thing, because most mechanics they find one problem and they tell you to have a million. But if it's something so obvious of like, if you were a hospital and said, "We extend healing," that may be something that's really obvious by a hospital. It's like, okay, of course you do. Well, I would hope you would.
I'm coming to the hospital for that very purpose. I would hope so. And so you see, whatever it is in your business, ask yourself if it would evoke a response from your customer that would say, "Well, I would hope so." It is an expectation that they inevitably have. Then it is a cliche, because it tells them nothing original, nothing interesting, and nothing really effective to draw them in and to make you stand out amongst all the other competition. The second test is the "who else can say that?" Now notice I said who else can say that, not who else can do that. Because it's one thing to say and it's another thing to do it. Now you might say to me, "But what we say is exactly what we do, and that's good. We want you to be a dependable. We want you to be number one in your business." But you got to ask yourself, can your competition say that? And the answer is, yeah. I mean, anybody and everybody can say that. And so if it is something that your competition can say, then it is a cliche. Again, you just take a look in the phone book. You take a look at any car driving or any work van driving by, and I guarantee it'll say something like number 1 in Orlando. My goodness, there's a lot that say number 1 in Orlando. So which one is number 1? Or this one. This gets me all the time. You open up a phone book and you see AAA. You realize just here in Orlando, there's a plethora of AAA companies. There's a AAA resume writing, a AAA plumber, AAA auto mechanic, AAA lawyer, AAA everything. And therefore, because everyone can say this, it is a cliche. In fact, this one is a gimmick only because it is used to get you to the front of the phone book. But again, it says nothing original, interesting, or effective for marketing purposes. Now, it will work perhaps for a little while, but everyone else can do it, and therefore it will lose its value very quickly.
And really what you're doing is you're setting yourself up to look exactly like everybody else. You're not setting yourself apart. You're not setting up what's unique about your business. And really the decision of who to go with becomes more muddled. And if someone else has something that you can't say, they're going to have the edge. And that's why you want to make sure that you're not saying anything that someone else could say. For example, like, I'm the best wedding videographer to keep the wedding videographer thing going in America or in Orlando. And, you know, it's like, there's nothing that really measures that. So it's like, you can't really be the best except in your own opinion, you know, like, so just try to avoid that unless you have like, we were voted #1 or we were some, you know, like even that, you know, may not carry as much weight.
Whom?
Yeah, voted by whom?
My family voted us as the #1 videographer.
My mom says that I'm the best, you know. So
that's
therefore
unique,
I am.
though. I mean, no.
Only my mom says it. Only my mom. Number 3 would be the cross out right in, which is kind of like the who else can say that test. Imagine your competitor, and imagine your log line or your advertising, and imagine crossing out your name and putting your competitor's name. And if there is nothing distinguishable between you and your business, then and their business, then you have failed this test. For example, if you were, we'll take the hospitals here in town. If you had a message that said, you know, we heal people, and it says Florida Hospital, but then you cross that out, and then it became, you know, Orlando Regional Hospital. It's like, yes, we both heal, and again, we're doing the same thing with this advertising. Is you're not different from anybody else out there. You're exactly the same, and you might actually be helping other people do it. A perfect example of this in the real world is Kmart. Kmart started a viral campaign that was highly successful as far as hits go on YouTube. You may have seen it. It is the ship my pants, and that's not a typo. I'm saying ship my pants. And it was about a funny way to tell people that, yes, we have an online store, but everybody has an online store. There's been online stores since 1995, and so they went viral, but it didn't help them at all because people were like, oh, sweet, I can buy pants online. Why don't I go to Target or Walmart or wherever else? Yeah. And the sales at Kmart actually went down 3.5% that year that they went viral. It was probably their most successful, as far as hits go, campaign, but it did absolutely nothing to tell people where Kmart were different. It was just like, we have pants too that you can buy online. You're welcome. You know, and that's it. Yeah. So that is where that one failed, and so you have to strive to try to do something a little bit more interesting, like finding your you.
Yeah, you got to find who you are. What is it that sets you apart from your competition? You need to ask that question, and you need to begin to really figure out what that is. Why should a customer buy from you as opposed to your competition? I mean, again, you're in this to be making sales. You're in this to serve somebody and help solve a problem that they have. That good businesses are able to define those things, who their customer is, what problem it is, and how they provide a solution. And so what we're going to do is actually go through a series of templates here that we picked up from an article by Tor Gortson. And in fact, if you're on our page, you'll actually be able to download it. There should be a link below. If you're on our page, if you're on YouTube, you're going to have to get access to that. Put it in the comments there, and we'll be able to give you a link in order to download it. But the first one is from Jeff Moore's value positioning statement. And what it is the first, we'll give you a template, and what we're going to do is we'll give you some examples so that you can begin to understand what this looks like. He breaks it down into pretty much 5 sections. You've got for, and then blank, and then it's who blank, our blank, is blank, that blank. As you can look back in the screen, you can kind of see it laid out there. And what is for, list your target audience. Who, statement of the need that your customer has, and then our, list the product or service, what it is that you are providing there is, and then list the category, and then finally that, And what is it that it does? What's the benefit to the customer? For example, we would have something like our business. All right, we're going to use our own USP here. Our USP is for small local business owners who struggle to find return on investment with online marketing. Our service is a custom comprehensive marketing strategy that leverages a business's USP for highly profitable returns. So there's our USP, and you can read it back there, whatever. We're still working on we're still working on getting it on the page there. But that is our USP and how we would take this template and then apply it to our own business. And so again, I ask you, do the same. Figure out, we're going to go through a couple of them here, and at the end, we'd love for you to pick one and actually respond to it. So the second one, why don't you do our second one there, Stanley?
Oh, I was going to, we're going to do that later? We're going to do some examples? Okay, sure. All right, so number 2, venture hacks high concept pitch. So the first part is a proven industry example. And Flickr for video. I actually don't know a lot about this, Dan. I'm gonna go back to you.
I'm gonna do this one. I'll do this one as well. This is going to be the second one. And what it is you take a proven industry standard, and then you're going to apply it with something new and innovative. For instance, this is great when you're doing some type of pitch for a film or a video. A lot of people do this for executives, and you're going to take something that you're familiar with, like Jaws, but on a bus. Obviously, it's speed. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know that there it is. You took something
Jaws in space.
Right?
It's the famous pitch for aliens.
Okay, say that Jaws in space is the famous pitch then for aliens, and you take something familiar, something successful in an industry, and then attach it with something new. It's a familiar way. Mm-hmm. It's a recognizable way, so that when you're talking with somebody and they ask you, hey, what is it you do, or what is it that you're trying to pitch to them, you can be able to provide that. And so again, great examples are Flickr, but for video, or Friendster, but for dogs, the Firefox of media player, whatever it is that you would have, figure out what is it in your industry that's familiar, and then attach something new that would be describing what it is that you do.
A great example of that would be Oyster, which is basically the Netflix for books. It is a book service where you pay a monthly fee and you can rent as many books as you want, as many as you can read. And that's kind of one of the famous ones they actually say that on their site, the Netflix for books.
Yeah, there you go. There's a perfect USP then. All right, number 3 is Steve Blank's XYZ. This is probably the simplest format, and it's just as it says. It is we help X do Y doing Z. So the way that would translate, for instance, if we were to apply it for our own business here, we help local business owners discover high return on investment in online marketing by capitalizing on their unique selling proposition.
So that again is we help X do Y by doing Z. So it's kind of a cause and effect, if you will.
Yeah.
Really simple statement that kind of can help you get started. I come from a screenwriting background, and this is almost like a log line to help people get started. The one sentence that describes what your movie is about. This is kind of the one sentence that describes what your business is about. I'm a hairdresser that, or we help people that need haircuts by cutting hair, by, I'm doing a terrible job.
Slaughter that one.
Sorry. We help people cut their hair.
We help bald people grow hair by providing an ointment.
There you go.
Stanley hasn't really gotten into that one yet.
Nope. No. No.
So our fourth one would be, this one comes from Loskowitz and Coopers, and their customer problem solution, or CPS. And what it is again, it's a very simple answering the 3 big questions of who's your customer, what's the problem that they have, and then what is the solution that you are providing. So, for instance, again, it could be a simple thing, using ours as an example here. I believe my best customers are small business owners who are not satisfied with their return on investment in the area of marketing and online marketing. And well, what we do is we provide a solution in offering a custom comprehensive marketing strategy that enables them to dominate their marketplace.
Very good. Cool. Let's play a game. Let's see, what other one could we do? If I was a dentist.
Okay.
So let's play customer. Who is my customer if I'm a dentist? It would be people that need dental work.
Okay.
Or problem. What problem you're solving for the customer? We're providing high quality dental work.
Okay. But notice this. High quality, anybody could say that.
Yep.
Here's the thing that you need to find out with a problem that your customer has is you really want to get to pain points. And in this case, a literal pain point. You need to ask yourself, what are the issues that or problems that your customer would have keeping them from perhaps wanting to even do dentistry? A lot of people have anxiety. A lot of people have, they're just like, the dentistry has a bad reputation in that way. And so as a dentist, what we would do is we would come along asking a lot of questions, drawing it out, and finding out what are the real specific problems, and then how can that dentistry overcome those specific issues. In so doing that, you will actually see a great increase of customer rapport and customers coming back, repeat customers, because here you have addressed one of the major hindrances that basically keeps you from being able to keep, retain, or even get more customers. And so in a dentistry, that would be something that we would have to draw out of saying, okay, what is that problem? Fear of the dentistry. So then what is your solution as a dentistry, and how would you solve it? If you were
so exactly. Well, we can see already that this is helping. What I came up with a generic answer of like, people that need dentistry, that's their problem. Like, no, the problem is what is stopping people from using your company. So for a dentist, the problem is people are afraid of the dentist. And then that comes to the third part, which is the solution. What is the solution for the problem? And therefore, something like sedation dentistry, or a lot of people do it where they're just knocked
gone,
out. Sedation dentistry.
Knock me out in the car and then wheel me in.
Yep, exactly. Or we have a better atmosphere. We have, we do training. We do education before we ever operate on you.
Totally.
To get people more comfortable, and we have a full, learning process. We have, all sorts of things you could do to solve that problem. That are outside of the norm. So tell me about number 5, Dave McClure's elevator rides. So this kind of sounds like a log line as well.
Exactly. You got, as you know, in an elevator, you've got 30 seconds to make your hit, make your pitch, and you've got to make it clear and concise. And what he says is short, simple, no kiss here, keep it simple, stupid, and memorable. And therefore, you're going to pick 3 keywords that would describe what it is that you do that's going to make a punch, that's going to hopefully hook and draw them to want to ask a question of, tell me more, I'd love to hear, hey, I got to go, but here's my card, give me a call. And so an example, it would be Mint. All right, Mint.com is the free, easy way to manage your money online. There it is. Boom. Really short. And again, keywords there are free, easy, and then it's to manage your money, of course.
And then pro marketing strategies could be as simple as, we help local businesses make more money. In simple, non-jargon, not a sliver of jargon there. We just help them make more money. And it's like, what? How? And then people are asking more questions. You can see how that works. You give them a little, they want more. So
the key thing there with that one is you never want to overpower them, but you want to entice them to want to know more. When they're asking you questions, that's a great position to be in. And so number 6 is David Cowan's Pitchcraft.
Part 1 is you want to highlight the enormity of the problem you are tackling. This is kind of like making them aware of the need that they may not be aware of yet. And number 2 is you tell the audience up front what your company sells. So you have a need, I have a solution. Number 3, distill the differentiation down to one easy to comprehend sentence. It's kind of like the last step. You have a problem, I have a solution, and let me tell you about it really in a simple, quick way. I help them make more money. Number 4, establish credibility by sharing the pedigree of the entrepreneurs, customers, or the investors. It's kind of like saying, it's worked for these other people.
Yeah. Well-known celebrities. So so
these people have used our services. It's like a list of clients on like anybody's website.
So an example of that would be, say it would be like this. One person dies of myeloma every 62 minutes. We offer a Demoscope app for iPhone that enables people to easily diagnose their skin, leveraging patented pattern recognition technology entrusted by the World Health Organization. So there's kind of a pattern, and there's an example. And why don't you give one for us? What would it be for?
So, 79% of marketing leads never convert into sales. We offer a custom comprehensive marketing strategy that leverages a business's unique selling proposition. Would be we are establishing the problem. 79% of people of marketing leads never convert into sales. People pay for advertisements and they don't work. But we offer a custom comprehensive marketing strategy so that we keep testing and we keep finding what works, and we really keep hitting that area. And then we leverage the person's unique, what makes them unique, to make it work.
Pretty much what we're doing here is, again, saying, hey, these are the things that we would be asking and drawing out of business, finding out what is it that, why do they stand out? And then, of course, leveraging, well, this system that we operate and that we use isn't something that we just conjured up. No, there are big-time marketers that are actually using this, such as Frank Kern, or Jay Abraham, or Michael Gershner, or Richard Harshaw. You know, these are if you've got tens of thousands of dollars and you would like to pay them to do, these are the kinds of systems that they are using and that we are actually bringing to our clients.
Okay, number 7 is Eric Sink's value proposition. Why don't you tell us about that?
All right. This one, again, is short. This one here uses a superlative to begin with.
What's a superlative?
A superlative is highest, biggest, greatest, strongest. And in this case, again, this is for a real quick hook to demonstrate why it is that you are superior, but then you've got to put on a label and a qualifier, because anybody could put on that superlative, and therefore it could be a cliche. So you got to be very careful with this. So for instance, the easiest operating system, for a notebook PC, it would be one that could be used for a product, or something like the most secure payment gateway for mobile e-commerce. All right. Again, and in this case, you are wanting to let's take that one for an example. All right. The most secure payment. All right, so there it is. There's your superlative and gateway for mobile e-commerce. So there's your label and your qualifier. This is only for e-commerce. All right, this is not for everyone. This is only e-commerce. And again,
it's kind of a broad, like, we're the best hospital on this street.
There you go. That's good. That's
or
good.
We're the best hospital for brain surgeons in Florida, or something like that. So it's like,
that's a very good one.
This is a really broad thing, but for this one specific, so you're kind of taking a really broad thing and putting it down into like a small niche or niche. Yeah. If you're French, is that how you would describe it?
Yes. Yeah. So and again, our case, using ours, we would say the most comprehensive marketing strategy for local businesses would be kind of how
in Orlando.
There you go. Boom. And so we just narrow it all the way down to Orlando and what we're doing.
Cool.
So our last one, kind of a bonus, is the VAD approach, which is the verb, application, and differentiator. And in that case, again, you're simply saying, hey, all right, verb, share PowerPoint and Keynote slides, including audio. This is what we do. Make VoIP calls easily and cheaply, or in case of ours, dominate your local market with a comprehensive strategy. So this is more of a, here's what we do, and again, it's verb oriented, bringing action to it. What does it apply to? Ours, local market, And then, of course, the differentiation. This is a comprehensive strategy, not just a one and done, a fulfillment center, so on and so forth.
So this one seems a little bit less clear than some of the others. Can you, let's say I'm a lawyer that's a divorce attorney. Like,
Okay.
how could you help me use this method to come up with a good
Sure,
marketing
and you're putting
scheme?
me on the spot there.
Yeah.
I'd actually have to ask a lot more questions.
Oh, okay.
Only because, only because in that I would want to know. Okay, wait a minute. What is it that you do specifically? You as a lawyer do in this area, and how does it apply to this situation? So I'd have to do a lot of
Sure. Ask me some questions. Why not?
asking questions first before I'd be able to actually answer that. That's the thing. See, here's the beauty about this is these in and of themselves, they cannot be cliches, and that you need to be able to talk and dialogue and know your business very well in order to answer this. So I think that for instance,
Okay. Well.
an industry that I run
Okay.
in is old classic automobiles. That's one of the areas that I market and that we deal with. All right. So what would I do for verb application? All right. We sell, or market, or we trade or barter. But I would say probably of those, sell. Okay.
Okay.
So selling original classic Chevy parts, all right, classic Chevy would be our differentiator, and then the parts and the application, they would be, actually it could be both, the application and the differentiator, because in that case we sell original Chevy classic parts is different than a reproduction, different than a modern day Chevy, different than that. So that's how this one sets itself
Differentiated.
apart.
Okay. Well, let's say I'm a lawyer that only represents women
Okay.
that have been in abuse cases,
All right.
and that's my lawyer business. Is that enough for you to maybe get started on that?
Sure. All right. So actually, no. I would say no. It still isn't.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you got it. Why don't you give? How would you do it yourself?
I am honestly still not sure how it breaks down with verb application differentiator. That's what I'm trying to get at. So it's like the verb is what I do. I'm a lawyer.
Yeah.
And application is
who you're a lawyer to.
Okay, so I'm a lawyer only to women.
Okay.
Differentiator, I basically said it to you. I only work with women from abuse cases.
Okay.
Something like that. So that would be my verb application differentiator method. Okay, so that's basically figuring out what do I do, who do I do it for, and how do I do it different than everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could take that with the same thing with the earlier example of a wedding videography company. I'm a wedding videographer. I do it for only for Indian weddings, and I do it in a cinematic way. So it would be one way to make a differentiator.
There you go. There you go. That's even
And that
better.
kind of helps you find what makes your company unique in the sense of what is it that I actually do different, and what is it that I could do different if you're not doing anything differently.
Yeah.
We got a little screen back there. Sorry. But what is it that what is it that I'm doing right now that I could do differently? I do video tutorials on the side for Final Cut.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, I could have just done long 15-minute tutorials, but I do very, very short tutorials because nobody else is doing it, and that's what keeps it different.
Yeah.
So can you think of any other examples of how that a company could maybe use this method to separate themselves from the pack?
What, this method or any of the methods?
Or any of the methods, really, but...
Well, yeah, I would say actually one of the things that we were talking about and we would love to have you do is, if you're able to, of the 7 plus the bonus here, plus the 5, plus the 1, the 8 templates that you've got there, we would love to hear you get a chance to respond to and create your own. Put it in the comment section, and write it in there. Choose a template that you think is most effective. If one of them was a bit more confusing to you, then go ahead and avoid that one, and instead,
or ask us about it.
Ask us. Yeah. But we want you to actually take it and then write in your own USP using one of those templates. And on top of that as well, again, we'd love for you to subscribe if this has been helpful for you. Please, let us know that by subscribing to our channel. We're going to be coming out with a lot more marketing tips as we go through here. And
thank you for joining us for our very first ever live webcast.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is will only get better and better each time. But,
yeah.
All right.
And thank you as well. Shout out to our switch person, Johnny Graham, who's doing a great job back there in the booth there for us. And like I said, if you need to and you're on our page, you can download not ours, but actually the article that we use kind of as a good sounding board for this.
Very good. All right. Until next time, I'm Stan.
And I'm Dan.
Of Stan Dan Productions, Pro Marketing Strategy, Go2Gurus. We'll see you next time. I'll just go to...
We're still live.